first project I really wanted to share is this jute doormat. So I have had the worst experience with our doormats in our bathrooms specifically. I have bought 2 of these threshold bath mats, which are made of 100% cotton, and even though I follow the washing instructions, they are just in such rough shape and they're not holding up whatsoever. So basically, I've been trying to figure out a solution. I've been doing some online shopping and I really love this one from Zara Home, and I also love this one from McGee & Co. And I was fully ready to order one of those rugs until I found this jute rug at the thrift store for just $2. Which brings me to my first tip, is to always shop seasonal decor that is off season. Most people would have probably just skated right past this beauty here, but I saw its potential. So it's always helpful to go into the thrift store with an open mind, but also kind of a plan. So I knew I eventually wanted to purchase a jute rug for my bathroom, but I just was definitely not crazy about this Santa pattern. And what's really nice is all of these small pieces of fabric were essentially just tied around the back, so I was able to remove every single piece of fabric super easily. And basically, I just went color by color, section by section, until all of the knots were removed, and I was able to remove all of those fabric pieces, so I was just left with the jute rug that I was really hoping to have in the end. After I got all of the major strips of fabric removed from this jute rug, I just took my vacuum with the hose setting and just tried to get the remainder of those little strands of fabric. All in all, this was a super simple project and it only cost me $2 and an hour of my time. And just a reminder how the rug looked before and how it looks now. Next up, I came across this piece of wood that had this rubber backing and it was just 50 cents. And I wasn't crazy about the rubber backing, but I really liked that sort of reclaimed look of the actual wood. Part of that rubber backing was coming off, so I had a choice. I could either choose to remove it or just kind of reattach it so it was all flush. So I did try to remove it, but it was just going to take too much muscle, and I was worried that if I did it, it was going to actually ruin the wood underneath, which is the part I loved the most. For the hooks that we're gonna put on the actual wood, there are so many great selections out there, but I really loved the modernness of these heavy-duty magnetic clips sold at the Dollar Tree. These are such good quality for just $1.25, and I wanted to be able to hang things from them, but also clip things inside of the clip, like pictures and memos and things like that. So this reclaimed wood was 24 inches across, and each magnetic clip is 2 inches across. So after just doing some very simple math, I just separated each clip 4 inches away from the previous one. Before I attached the metal clips, I just wanted to secure that backing with some additional hot glue so it was nice and flush when I go to put it up on the wall. To attach each clip, I decided to use a combination of super glue and hot glue. If ever you're combining adhesives, start with the one that takes longer to cure and finish with the one that is fast acting. So I super glued all of the clips first, and then one by one applied hot glue and then attached it to the reclaimed wood piece. And altogether, this project cost me less than $6, which in comparison to things that I've seen online is a real steal. And here is how she looked before and how she looks now. So for the next project, I really wanted to make a woven side table. And so the next time you're at the thrift store and you see something and maybe you don't like that it's particle board, or maybe you don't like, you know, a certain finish or a certain color, those things are so easy to change. And I think that if you just try to focus on like the shape and the silhouette of things, it can really like expand your mind and your creativity in what you can make. So I actually found this table a while ago, and I've been putting it off because I knew it was going to be somewhat of a repetitive and time-consuming project, but I knew I was going to love the end result. So I have loved this side table from McGee & Co. for so long, but it is so expensive, and I cannot justify spending over $1,000 for a side table. So the materials I needed for this project were just some hot glue and some jute rope cording that I bought off Amazon. I bought 2 rolls of this cording, and I just started rolling the entire thing around the the top. I found the center of the top piece and I'm just continuing gluing and applying the jute rope around. This process probably would have gone a lot faster had I used thicker cording, but if I wanted to really stick to my inspiration picture, which I did, I wanted it to be nice and thin. Whenever you're doing projects like this, I like to say like less is more with the glue, because you don't want to see like globs of glue on your project. That makes it look, to me, much more like a DIY project. So especially for the legs, I just really glued once about every 5 to 7 wraparounds, and I felt like it gave it a pretty like nice finished look. Alexa, play Beyonce radio. When I got to the end of each leg, I just left like a little bit of the wood showing through at the bottom because I didn't want it to be uneven. Altogether, this side table transformation cost me just under $25, and a reminder on how it looked before and how it looks now. And for the final project, kind of sticking with that same idea, is to look at the shape of the item and not so much the color or the pattern, because color is one of the easiest things, if not the easiest thing to change. And usually if it's a paint related project, it can be done fairly quickly. So I found this vase at the Goodwill for just $4, and it was normally priced at $19.99, so not terrible to begin with, but this pattern and the color palette is just too pigmented for my taste and my aesthetic, but the shape was perfection. So the first thing I did was just neutralize everything, so I took some creamy white spray paint by Magnolia in the color Yarn. I really wanted to try a new technique in order to make things look aged and vintage, and I believe I saw Emily Faith do this, so I'll link her channel in the description box below. But basically, it's instead of doing a painting technique, you can use stain instead. So in this example, I decided to use gel stain in the color Walnut. I put my gloves on and with a paper towel, just rubbed the stain all over this vessel 2 to 3 times, just to make sure I had some nice even coverage, but that there was some depth and some differentiation happening amongst the vessel. Once all of the coats of stain had dried, I just decided to seal it before I applied the mud mixture. So basically, after this step, I just took some wet mud and I rubbed it all over the vessel and let that to dry overnight. And this is how our vessel looked before and how it looks now. And those are the flips for this week, guys. 4 flips in under $40. I hope you guys like them. Please leave me a comment down below which one was your favorite. If you take anything away from this video, it's just to go to the thrift store with an open mind and let yourself be creative and try new things. I will see you guys next Sunday for a very fun Dollar Tree video, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. Bye.